قمت فجئت بخامسة بعد أن سلم الإمام فهل صلاتي صحيحة أم علي الإعادة? Question says, one day I made Salat al-Asr in congregation, and in the fourth and final rak'ah, I failed to recite the Fatiha. I didn't recite the Fatiha myself in the fourth rak'ah. So after the Imam salamed out, he was finished the prayer, I stood up and I made a fifth rak'ah. Is my prayer sound? Is it valid or not? الجواب أنت معذور بهذا الاجتهاد والأصل أن صلاتك صحيحة وأن القراءة خلف الإمام في الصلاة السرية تسقط عن الإمام أو تسقط عن المأموم ويتحملها الإمام، هذا الذي عليه الجمهور. وإن كان هناك بعض من العلماء يرى وجوب القراءة على المأموم كالإمام، ولكن أنت معذور في هذه الفعل كذا وصلاتك مجزئة ولو لم تقم بهذا لكان أحسن. Answer says, first point is that you are excused. أنت معذور, you're pardoned. You are excused for what you did. You making ijtihad. In simple basic English words, you putting things together yourself. I'm behind the Imam, so I'm not supposed to pray any additional rak'at, but at the same time, I didn't do something that I know I'm supposed to do. So I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, so therefore let me. He could be wrong in that, but this Muslim is what? He's trying. And this should remind us of that idiom that states, لا بد للعامي أن يجتهد ولا بد يوم من الأيام للعالم أن يقلد. Some scholars say that there has to come a time in which the 9 to 5 normal Muslim is independent. And there has to come a time, even if it's one day, in which the scholar is a blind follower. It has to come a time in which there's nobody to call, there's no time, you have to do what? You got to do it. And there's a time in which, as a learned person who may not have the answer, he may not have time to research, he has to just, Sheikh Imtiaz said it was Bismillah. I trust him, I respect him, I'm going to go with that. So that's how life is. So here, this 9 to 5 Muslim person isn't supposed to be making ijtihad himself, but he did. And the mufti here says that he's pardoned. And that goes to show you the power of the niyyah and the importance of the niyyah. Wallahu ya'lamu al-mufsida min al-muslih. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَأَعْنَتَكُمْ لَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَأَحْرَجَكُمْ. If Allah had willed, He would have placed a hardship upon you. Allah knows he who has the good intention versus he who has the bad intention. Fatwa then states, you are excused, so there's no sin upon you. Number 2, your prayer is valid. You making the 5 rak'ats, he said, is what? He says it is valid. All right. Now, he says what? He says, أنت معذور بهذا الاجتهاد. All right, that's first and foremost is you're pardoned. وَالْأَصْلُ أَنَّ صَلَاتَكَ صَحِيحَةٌ. And the default, the rule is that your prayer is valid, is sound, and that reciting behind the Imam, you are pardoned from reciting. I.e., the Imam is reciting so quick, you didn't have time to say the Fatiha, the rak'ah still counts. That's the asl. That's the rule until proven otherwise. And that the Imam is responsible for your recitation. Even in he says sirriya, the silent prayers. So we're making dhuhr now. I'm reciting behind the Imam, at least the Fatiha and the Surah. But the Imam, he's going so fast, I didn't have time to. So the rule, the default of that is that your prayer would be. So I didn't get a chance to finish Fatiha in the first rak'ah. The Imam said, Allahu Akbar. You are now exempt from that responsibility. Everybody clear on this? It's not like you're praying by yourself, nor is it like you're the Imam. All right? Moving forward, he says, this is the view of most scholars. And some scholars, they hold the view is that the one who's behind the Imam must recite just like the Imam. No excuse. You have the same responsibility. The Mufti, he concludes his fatwa by saying, "Walakin, however, you are pardoned. And your prayer is valid, is correct. Even though you made 5 rak'at." He says, and if you didn't make the 5th rak'ah, it would have been better. It would have been what? It would have been best for you not to have done that, but you did it. And now it's valid based off of that, based off of that reason. And now, this should show us is that in ahkam al-wuqu' غير أحكام الشروع. أحكام الشروع غير أحكام الوقوع. Something happened versus you want to do something. Most of us, when we ask questions, this happened, what's the ruling, can I do this, can I do that? We say, oh, you had no business doing that. You shouldn't be, but it what? It happened. And of course, I don't need to say the biggest example of this. Those Muslims, they had no business doing it on what? They had no business doing this and that, but it what? It's done now. Now, what is the ruling on helping them, supporting them, fighting with them? You guys get the point? So, Sheikh, I intend on going to my girlfriend and then making tawbah afterwards. You're going to tell that person what? No. You're going to tell them what? No. Sheikh, I was with my girlfriend. She got pregnant. Can we get married? What are you going to tell a person? No. You're going to lecture them that you shouldn't have. Zina, astaghfirullah. What do you mean? Right now, can we get married or not? Is it valid? Because the zina, unfortunately, it what? It took place. So what is the ruling of what's taking what? Place. Premeditated is not like something that actually happened. The person made the 5th rak'ah, it's done. It's not like, Sheikh, can I make a 5th rak'ah? Should I make a 5th rak'ah? I'm going to make a 5th rak'ah. And this is a fa'idah which is extremely beneficial, understanding and navigating through the different fatwa. The ruling of what happened is not the ruling of what you plan on taking place. All right, khair inshallah. This fatwa here is given by Sheikh Abdullah ibn Jibreen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy upon him. And there are many things that we learn from it, as we just explained. Walhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.